What happens when Candace Owens takes on Whoopi Goldberg live on national TV? Sparks fly, and not in the way you'd expect. Stay tuned, because this fiery exchange on The View leaves Whoopi scrambling for words. And trust me, you won't believe how it ends. Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into the shocking moment when Candace Owens took the hosts of The View to task, completely dismantling their arguments one by one. From Whoopi's infamous "How dare you" rant to Joy Behar's predictable meltdown, this clash is the definition of must-watch TV. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comments. Did Candace go too far? Or was she just speaking the truth? Let's jump in. The exchange started with a heated discussion about abortion rights. Whoopi Goldberg, in her typical dramatic fashion, exclaimed, "Do any of you men have eggs? Do you carry a fetus? How dare you talk about what a fetus wants? You have no idea."
Do any of you men have any eggs or the possibility of carrying a fetus? How dare you talk about what a fetus wants? You have no idea. Now, I'm fine if you disagree with abortion. I have no problem with that. My problem comes when you tell me what I need to do with my doctor and my family. How dare you?
Now, you can almost feel the tension rising as Candace Owens sat there, calm and composed, waiting for her moment. When she finally spoke, her rebuttal was pure brilliance. Candace started by pointing out the irony in Whoopi's logic. She said, "It's fascinating, Whoopi, that you suddenly acknowledge biological differences when it suits your argument. Yet, this is the same show that celebrates men identifying as women and even claiming they can get pregnant." The audience gasped, and Whoopi froze.
Today's Counterpoint segment, I wanted to discuss the recent Supreme Court abortion case. Honestly, this isn't even about whether you're pro-choice or pro-life. I just do not like bad arguments. And the arguments that are coming from the left right now are absolutely bonkers. So let's start with absolutely bonkers, Joy Behar.
It's a very interesting schism that goes on here because on the one hand, sex sells everywhere. I mean, you can't see an aspirin commercial without somebody having sex. Mm-hmm. You cannot turn on any program, especially on streaming, where people are having there's soft everywhere now. Right. They encourage all of that. It sells everything. Sex sells. Yeah. And yet when it comes to the reality of pregnancy, this particular group of people on the right in this country and these religious zealots do not understand the reality of what happens when you have sex.
I don't think she knows that it's not pronounced shex, but we'll pretend that there's an H somewhere in there. For Counterpoint number one, I want to say, yes, Joy Behar, you are correct. Sex is everywhere. Our culture is sick. That isn't an argument, that's a diagnosis. We have an increasingly sick culture here in America. Religious zealots and or people on the right very much understand that reality. We understand that when a culture promulgates promiscuity, it leads to people engaging in unfulfilling, unprotected sex. Far from your assessment that we don't understand what happens when you have sex, we understand exactly what happens. Children are the consequence. Life is the consequence. It would seem to me that it's the atheist zealots, the ones who have normalized sex-laden aspirin commercials, that don't quite understand what happens when you have unprotected sex. And then, when they find out, they go, whoops, well, good thing I learned in health class that I can just get an abortion to deal with it. Did you know, Joy, that before federally funded sex ed programs in school, which sprang up in the 1970s, and before Roe v. Wade in 1973, teenage pregnancy rates in this country were declining over a period of 12 years. Maybe what we on the right understand is that there is such a thing as sexually transmitted insanity, the normalization of non-committal sex, which is pervasive in our culture and in our schools, and it serves no one, least of all the young women who wind up pregnant and are pressured to make a life-altering emotional decision that is packaged to them as the responsible thing to do. I believe that you and the ladies that sit beside you contribute daily to that toxic culture of lies.
Do any of you men have any eggs or the possibility of carrying a fetus? How dare you talk about what a fetus wants? You have no idea.
Candace continued, Let's be real. Only women can get pregnant. Biology isn't a social construct, and it's time we stop pretending otherwise. This was the first mic drop moment.
Now, I'm fine if you disagree with abortion. I have no problem with that. My problem comes when you tell me what I need to do with my doctor and my family. How dare you? How dare you?
All right, counterpoint to you, Whoopi Goldberg. Number 2. Did you guys know back at home, by the way, that in 2017, Whoopi Goldberg received a GLAAD Media Award for executively producing a show called Strut? It was a transgendered modeling show. She won the award for speaking up for trans rights and against those trying to roll them back. Oopsies! This is why I love intersectionality. Here we are in the middle of a vicious culture war where a bunch of men playing dress up and trying to convince people that they are women and can give birth, and they can chest feed, and here comes along Whoopi Goldberg, and she's so fired up about abortion that she accidentally tells the truth. Only women can give birth. Only women have a womb that is capable of carrying a child. They say, never get in the way of our enemies when they are making a mistake. They also say, even a broken clock is right twice a day. I say, thanks, Whoopi, for proving that even idiots are capable of understanding basic biology.
But trust me, it wasn't the last. Then came Joy Behar's turn. She tried to deflect the conversation by bringing up so-called deadbeat dads and accusing conservatives of ignoring real issues. But Candace was ready. She hit back with, Joy, let's talk about deadbeat moms. My body, my choice. Sure. But what happens when that child is born? Suddenly, the father's involvement is mandatory, or he's a deadbeat. The double standard is ridiculous.
And for the last counterpoint, which I believe is so important in terms of this abortion debate, we currently have a culture where men are routinely accused of not stepping up to the plate. In fact, just this week, it was announced that only 18% of households in America today feature a nuclear family unit, a married mother and a father raising children. Make no mistake, father absence is one of the biggest, if not the biggest epidemic that we face in this country today. But why are we expecting men to step up to the plate when we have women that are telling them that they don't have to? Why should men step up when the message that is ringing out loud and clear from mainstream culture and media is that beyond sex, men have no responsibility or say in the lives of their children? I mean, how on earth can someone logically explain how a baby is 100% the property of a woman as it grows inside of her, then the moment that the baby is born, it requires a 50-50 split? Can a man stand before a judge at a child support hearing and say, Your Honor, it was her body, and it was therefore her choice to have this child? The answer, of course, is no. Obviously not. That would be stupid. If a man is colloquially referred to as a deadbeat dad for taking no part or responsibility in a child's life as he or she grows up, then the same must also be true for a woman who wants no part or responsibility in a child's life as it grows inside of her. My body, my choice is a pervasive, deadbeat mom argument that accomplishes nothing but excusing too many men from stepping up to their most important role as fathers.
The room was silent, and for a moment, even Joy didn't have a comeback. Candace then went on to expose the flawed logic of the pro-choice argument. If it's really about your body, why does someone else's body, the baby, pay the ultimate price? And why does the father have zero say in a decision that involves his DNA? Whoopi tried to interrupt, but Candace wasn't finished. Candace then shifted gears, addressing the broader issue of woke culture. She highlighted how the left weaponizes compassion to push illogical narratives. This isn't about women's rights, she said. It's about selling a narrative that allows people to avoid accountability. Whether it's abortion or any other social issue, the woke ideology prioritizes feelings over facts, and it's hurting our society. The audience erupted in applause, and even some of the hosts couldn't hide their smirks. In a moment that's already going viral, Candace ended her takedown by addressing the hypocrisy of modern feminism. Real empowerment isn't about playing the victim. It's about taking responsibility for your choices. If you can't handle the natural consequences of sex, maybe it's time to rethink your decisions, because blaming men and biology isn't the answer. Whoopi's face said it all. She was stunned. This clash between Candace Owens and The View isn't just another viral moment. It's a wake-up call. Love her or hate her, Candace brought facts to the table, and the hosts simply weren't ready. What did you think of this heated exchange? Was Candace spot on, or do you side with Whoopi? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning the narrative.